A man voluntarily walks into hell, not by a court sentence, not by mistake, not at gunpoint. Autumn 1940, Warsaw. A street roundup. German soldiers grab people at random, by their faces, by their arms, by the fear in their eyes. Chaos, screams, rifle butts crashing into bodies. Most try to run, hide in doorways, beg for mercy. But one man steps forward. One of the detained knows exactly where he is being taken. He has heard whispers of a new camp in the south. He knows that behind the gates marked Arbeit macht frei lies a place almost no one returns from. And yet, he allows himself to be arrested. His name is Witold Pilecki, and he willingly enters Auschwitz to destroy it from within. This is not a story about survival. This is the story of a man who chose to look the devil in the eye and not blink. Welcome to Echoes of Valor X. World War II is usually told through maps of offensives, the roar of tanks, and the speeches of generals. We know Stalingrad, Dunkirk, Normandy. But in the shadows of these colossal events are the stories of individuals whose courage outweighed entire armies. Today, we tell the story of the volunteer of Auschwitz. Witold Pilecki is the only known person in history who deliberately planned his own arrest in order to enter a death camp. He became prisoner number 4,859. He built an underground army among barracks crawling with lice and death. And he was the first to send reports of the Holocaust to the West. You might think such a hero would be honored forever, but his story does not end with medals or parades. It ends with a bullet to the back of the head in a damp basement. And the executioners were not Germans. If you want to understand the true cost of war, the price paid not only on the battlefield, but long after, subscribe to Echoes of Valor X. Because war never truly ends, it echoes. September 1940. Poland is on its knees, torn apart between Hitler and Stalin. Warsaw is a ghost city where a human life is worth less than a loaf of bread. The Polish underground begins receiving disturbing, fragmented reports. In the south, in former Polish barracks near the town of Auschwitz, the Nazis are building a concentration camp. There are rumors of brutality, torture, people vanishing without a trace. But no one knows for sure. Is it a prison, a labor camp, or an execution site? The resistance needs eyes and ears inside. But how do you send a spy into a place where survival itself seems impossible? Witold Pilecki, a 39-year-old cavalry officer, a veteran of 2 wars, proposes a mad plan. He will become cargo. He will allow himself to be arrested during a roundup, infiltrate the camp, organize resistance, and prepare an uprising from within. His commanders hesitate. It's a one-way ticket, suicide, but Pilecki insists. September 19th, the Żoliborz district. The Germans begin a Łapanka. Pilecki is in the apartment. He sees soldiers entering the building. He could hide in the attic. He could escape through the back courtyard. Instead, he calmly puts on his coat and walks toward the patrol. In his pocket, papers under the name Tomasz Serafiński. In his soul, cold determination.
I said farewell to everything I knew in this world and stepped into something that felt not of this earth.
He is shoved into trucks with hundreds of others, then into cattle cars. Darkness, stale air reeking of sweat and fear. No one yet knows what awaits them. They think they are being sent to work. They think the worst thing is losing freedom. How wrong they were. The train stops at night. The doors slam open, and hell begins instantly. Searchlights blind the prisoners. Dogs bark. SS men scream, "Raus! Raus! Faster!" People are thrown onto the platform. Those who hesitate are beaten to death with rifle butts on the spot. This is the first lesson of Auschwitz. You are no longer human. You are biomass. Pilecki is stripped of his name. His clothes, his hair, his possessions are taken. There is no tattoo yet. That will come later. But he is given a number. 4, 8, 5, 9. The deputy commandant greets the newcomers with words that burn into Pilecki's memory. The German officer told them they wouldn't live long here. He said that Jews would last 2 weeks, priests 1 month, everyone else 3 months, and that the only way out of the camp was through the crematorium chimney. The first weeks are a fight for physical survival. Hunger drives men insane. Cold seeps into their bones. Exhausting labor, hauling stones, digging trenches, has one purpose: to kill through work. The capos, criminal prisoners turned overseers, beat people for entertainment. Death here is not a tragedy. It is routine, a statistic, as ordinary to the executioners as morning coffee. But Pilecki is made of different material. Where others break, he hardens, he observes, he analyzes, he searches faces, not for fear, but for a spark of defiance. He begins building a network. ZOW, the Union of Military Organization. It is a masterpiece of underground discipline, a system of 5-man cells. Each member knows only his own cell. If one is captured and tortured, he cannot betray the whole network. The organization grows like roots underground, invisible beneath the boots of German guards.
We became hard. We forged steel within ourselves. Contempt for death became our shield. We built brotherhood where hatred ruled.
They steal food for the sick. They swap numbers on the clothes of the dead to save the living from execution. They even wage biological warfare, collecting lice from typhus victims and planting them in the uniforms of the cruelest SS men. A silent, invisible revenge. In the heart of the death factory, surrounded by electrified barbed wire, an army is growing. By 1941, the camp changes. Auschwitz ceases to be merely a prison for Poles. It becomes an extermination machine. Transports of Soviet POWs arrive, then Jews from all across Europe. Pilecki witnesses what the human mind refuses to accept: gas chambers, human experimentation, industrial-scale murder. He realizes his mission has changed. Uprising is no longer the priority. Information is. The world must know. ZOW establishes communication channels through released prisoners, escapees, civilian workers. Pilecki's first reports reach Warsaw, and from there, London. He describes selections on the platform. He describes Zyklon B. He gives numbers, thousands, hundreds of thousands of burned bodies, but the world's reaction is silence. In London, officials read the reports with disbelief. Exaggeration. Polish propaganda. The civilized mind of the 1940s could not comprehend a factory designed to produce death. Pilecki waits. He waits for the Allies to bomb the rail lines. He waits for paratroopers to descend from the sky. He is ready to launch an uprising. He has hundreds willing to die fighting rather than in gas chambers. But the sky over Auschwitz remains empty. No planes, no help.
We waited for thunder from the heavens. Instead, we heard only boots, barking dogs, and the screams of the dying. The world had forgotten us.
By spring 1943, the net tightens. Gestapo informants infiltrate the underground. Key members are arrested. Pilecki knows his time is running out. If he stays, he will die, and the network will collapse. He must escape. To personally convince command to attack the camp. Escape from Auschwitz. An impossible task. Easter night, 1943. Pilecki and 2 comrades secure assignment to the night shift at a bakery just outside the main camp perimeter, still heavily guarded. The plan is simple and insane. They have a homemade key and a loosened bolt in the door. The guard looks away for a single moment. Pilecki signals. The click of the lock sounds like a gunshot in the silence. The door opens. 3 shadows vanish into the night. Cold air of freedom slams into their faces.
Run, just run. Don't look back.
Shouts behind them. Halt! Halt! Gunfire tears the night apart. Bullets slice through branches overhead, but they reach the forest. They run until their lungs burn. They cross rivers, crawl through swamps. 1 man is wounded, but they do not stop. 947 days in hell are behind them. Back in Warsaw, Pilecki writes his final report, the Witold Report. Over 100 pages, dry, precise, factual. One of the most important documents of World War II. He pleads again for an attack on Auschwitz. He begs the Home Army. He begs London. The answer is the same. Insufficient forces. Too much risk. Auschwitz will operate for another year and a half. For Pilecki, this is a blow worse than torture, but he does not break. The war goes on. August 1944. Warsaw rises. Pilecki fights on the front lines, hiding his rank, serving as a private. His courage becomes legend. They call him Papa. But the uprising drowns in blood. Stalin halts his army across the Vistula and waits as the Nazis destroy the city. Pilecki is captured again, this time as a POW May 1945. The camp is liberated by American forces. The war in Europe is over. Nazism has fallen. It seems like the happy ending. But the Poland Pilecki fought for no longer exists. Brown tyranny is replaced by red. The Soviet Union installs a puppet communist regime. Pilecki reaches Italy, serving under General Anders. He is warned, do not return. They will kill you.
I cannot live knowing my homeland is not free. Someone must stay. Someone must bear witness.
And he returns to Warsaw, to the underground. He gathers evidence of Soviet crimes, rigged elections, arrests of patriots. But this is a different war. The secret police, under NKVD control, close in. May 1947, Pilecki is arrested.
What follows defies description. A man who survived Auschwitz is tortured by his own countrymen. They rip out his fingernails, break his ribs, shatter his nose. They know exactly who he is, and that is why they try hardest to destroy him. Heroes of independent Poland are dangerous to the new regime. They must not just be killed, they must be erased. During a brief visit, barely moving his shattered lips, he whispers to his wife, Maria,
Auschwitz was just a game compared to this.
a show trial, accused of espionage, treason, serving imperialists, a bitter irony, the verdict is predetermined, death, May 25th, 1948, Mokotów prison, a bullet to the back of the head. His body is dumped into an unmarked grave. His family is never told where. His name is erased from textbooks. Mentioning him becomes a crime. They tried to kill him twice, first his body, then his memory. But truth, like water, always finds a way. 40 years pass, and Witold Pilecki's name returns. After the fall of communism, his reports are published. The world learns of the volunteer of Auschwitz. Today, historians call him one of the bravest resistance fighters of World War II. Yet his grave has never been found. He rests somewhere in Polish soil, the land he loved more than life. Witold Pilecki's story reminds us, courage is not the absence of fear. It is a choice to walk into darkness when others flee toward the light, a choice to speak truth when lies are rewarded with life. They killed the man, but they could not kill the echo of his sacrifice. If this story moved you, like the video and share it. Subscribe to Echoes of Valor X. We don't tell fairy tales of victory. We tell the price paid for them. Because war never ends on the battlefield. It echoes.